This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show. And folks, this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And I have a lovely guest on the phone with me today, Steve Joyner again, sending me lots of really cool and talented people, and some who I've heard of and some who I haven't. And this young lady here is somebody that I have not heard of, but I hope to hear more of. And gotta say, looking at her IMDb pic, very lovely. And she's from Alabama. Folks, I give you Lesa Johnson. How you doing, Lesa?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, no problem. How did you come to know get affiliated with Steve Joyner?
Facebook.
He seems to be good at networking with people, huh?
He is. He is very good. He's a good man.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met him personally either, but I think he added me on Facebook, on Facebook, based on an actress that I had interviewed last September, so I figured if the actress had him on her friends list, I figured, well, I'll trust him. And I noticed he had a lot of posts on there that I was able to kind of relate to, and I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this guy. And I had him on. He was my first interview this year. And he's opened up a lot of opportunities for me to interview a lot of really cool people. So
hey, he's a cool guy himself. He's a good man.
Yeah. So, gotta ask, what's it like in Alabama right now?
Right now it's hot.
Yeah.
A hot sunny day.
Hot and sunny day. Well, we got the sun out here, but we still got some snow on the ground. Do you know where I'm located here in New Brunswick, Canada?
No.
No.
Where is it?
Nobody knows where we are. No. I just want to know, if you give us some of your background, give us an idea of who you are and what makes you tick and where you came from.
I've been born and raised in Alabama. I grew up in a country school.
Okay.
And we did a lot of plays, and I was in chorus, and we performed before the old school. And we did that for several years. And of course, when we did our field trips, we went to the Civic Center to see a play. And that's when I was just taken. I just loved it.
And then you started out in plays?
Just in school, basically. But I knew I wanted to do something someday.
Okay.
And it was just great to see that play, to see them.
What play was that again?
I'm thinking it was Cinderella.
Cinderella.
I'm not sure. I really can't remember, but I believe it was Cinderella. So it was so good, and they did such a good job.
Okay. Well, I was looking over your credits, and I know that you was in a movie not too very long ago called Oculus. And I guess that's an American remake, I think, if I understand correctly.
It is.
Yeah. And tell me, how did you get that part?
I went in auditions, and he told me that day it was mine.
Well, I'm trying to place, because what was your role in this film? Because until Steve Joyner brought you up, I was not affiliated with who you are. So when I found out you was in Oculus, I was like, okay, there's something that I had seen. Now, I've seen some pictures. Tell us about the role you had in the film.
I was Mary O'Connor.
Okay.
I was her ghost. I died in a bathtub with no water.
Okay.
It was, and I spent 5 hours to get all that creepy look, ghostly look. I spent 5 hours in the chair. So it it was a long, grueling process to get that ugly. But it was fun. I have to say it was fun. It was really fun. During those 5 hours, I wasn't bored at all, I have to say. But it was afterwards, removing everything, that was an experience. But it was great. It was great to do. It was great to watch, too.
Did they do like a mold of your head?
No.
No, okay. Sometimes they do that.
They didn't. They
Okay.
didn't do a mold of my head. Not this time.
So how long was you in the makeup chair?
5 hours.
5 hours. Jeepers, I don't know if I could sit still that long.
Oh, I know. But there was so much going around that just kept your attention going. It was just, they were working on others and creating props and costumes, other costumes for the other ghost that was there. And it was, it just flew by. And I couldn't believe I was in the chair for that long. But I was the last one out.
It took them the longest to do you?
Uh-huh. It did.
So what did your friends and family think when they saw the movie?
They were shocked. My parents haven't seen it, but I showed them a picture, and they said, "Oh, you're ugly."
Why haven't they seen it?
They haven't seen it, but I showed them a picture of what I look like in the movie.
Yeah, but why didn't they see it?
They don't like horror movies.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they don't. They just that old-fashioned. They just don't like old horror movies at all. I mean, none at all. But my siblings did. They liked it. They really liked it, and they were shocked to see me in it.
Did they tease you and say it was a good likeness?
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of jokes from that. A lot of jokes. You look so much better this way.
Of course, we know that's not true. I've seen your profile pic.
Oh, well, thank you. I will tell them that. But they dogged me forever about that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Oculus, but I did go and see it in theaters, and of course, you had a pretty decent cast in it. Of course, the film was directed by Mike Flanagan. What was your experience with him as a director?
Good experience. He was very good. I enjoyed working with him and hope to work with him some more.
And of course, excuse me, Karen Gillan was in that from, of course, Doctor Who, the redhead. Now again, it's been a while since I've seen this, so I cannot seem to picture. Like I only saw it the one time, so I apologize if this is not fresh to me. But
that's okay.
What was your interactions like with Karen?
Normal. I mean, just like you and I talking. It was. She was a very nice person. Everybody there was nice. Nobody was snotty or, it was just great. It was a great atmosphere, and everybody just worked together, and we had fun and got along real good. She's a very nice person.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting too that her younger self is played by Annalise Basso.
She's a very sweet girl.
You met her, huh?
I did. She was there. Yes. She was. We sat at the same area, and like I said, we all got along, and it was just we had laughs, and it was just really good. It's really good to people to work with.
Well, Annalise, I think, is probably the go-to person now because I thought Ouija was a really shitty horror film, and then Ouija 2 comes out, and it turns out to be really, really good, surprisingly good, considering how bad the first one was. and Annalise Basso was in that. So I'm like, she might be the go-to person when it comes to remakes and sequels.
She might be. Now, I haven't seen either one, but she's good.
Did you see her in Captain Fantastic?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I seen her in
but-
that too. Yeah, yeah. She I think has got a future. She's really coming along, and she's done some pretty impressive work so far in it. But she made a good young Karen Gillan.
She did. She really did. Yes, she did.
Yeah, and of course, I'm not even sure how to pronounce this guy's last name. Brendan Thwaites.
Yes. I
Okay.
do believe that's correct.
Okay, and then of course there's Katie Sackhoff as well.
Yes.
Any stories about them?
They was great. They was nice. Just casual conversation, laughed. Didn't really talk about the movie. We just talked about normal things, day-to-day things. It was just, like I said, it was a great group of people to work with. I didn't have one complaint, not one.
Did you go to the premiere of the film?
I did not.
Ah. Did you see it in theater?
Actually, no. I haven't watched it.
You didn't see it in theaters? Why? How could you not watch yourself? You're not one of those, are you?
I guess I am. I have not watched anything I have been in.
You have a
Except for
fear.
the first one,
What was the first one?
Deadland.
Deadland.
I went to the premiere of it. That's the only one I've seen
Now,
that I've been in.
why won't you watch yourself?
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'm scared.
Well, there are some people. There are certain actors that do not like to watch themselves, and then there's others that have no issue with it. I imagine for me, if I was an actor, I don't think I'd have an issue watching myself. Now, whether I'd like all of my film roles, that's a different story. But
Right.
yeah, but
Now,
no.
I've caught some parts of Oculus, and it's been on TV on the and when I fought by or something, and I'd see me, but I haven't sat down and watched the whole movie.
You don't point. You don't point the television and say, "Me, that's me."
Well, I did sit down and go, "Oh my God, I look bad."
Yeah, that's the one with the possessed mirror. Yeah. No.
That mirror was nice. The man who made it,
Yeah.
he did a good job.
Yeah. No, I saw Oculus. I thought it was a well done horror. I wasn't a big fan of the ending of the film. I will not give the ending away. But otherwise, I thought it was a very well made horror film, and certainly had more ambition gone into it than say the latest Blair Witch movie.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Yes.
Yeah. But you were also in the remake of Footloose as well. Now, did you see the original Footloose
Of course.
with Kevin Bacon? Yep. I would have been 12 years old in 1984 when the original Footloose came out, and of course they came out with the remake. And of course you play somebody that works in a bar in it. How did you come across getting affiliated with that film? Just standard edition?
Pretty much, yes. It was a 2-day shoot, and it was long hours, early call time into the late night hours, but it wasn't bored. I tell you, it was always busy. Everyone that was there, Julian Huff was, she was there. Everybody got along. It was just great to work with and talk to everyone, and to finish a film that I really loved from the first one. That I just really wanted to be in this one so bad because I really loved the original Footloose. And it was just great. It was great. It really was. And the people was great.
Tell me about working with Julianne Hough.
Oh, she is very nice. She was very nice. Didn't get to speak to her much. It seemed like as soon as we got a break, it was time to go back again. But she's a nice person. She is. She is a nice person.
You know, she was in one of my favorite movies from the last 5 years. In fact, she was in a movie that's celebrating its 5th anniversary this year, and I would love to get an interview from it. I'm talking about Rock of Ages, and I always affiliate her with that because the music from Rock of Ages just took me back. So I remember when a lot of those songs were released, and of course Julianne Howe was also in Rock of Ages, and a lot of those scenes that brought back basically my upbringing, more or less, was a lot of that music. So, but she also sings and stuff like that. So, what was it like seeing her perform like that?
She is a great dancer. Oh, she is. She's really good.
Did she teach you any moves?
No, I wish, but she didn't. But she is a great dancer. She is. She is very talented. Very talented. And yes, I would love to see that movie, Rock of Ages. You
haven't seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I loved it. I went to it 4 times when it was here in theaters, and then I bought it on Blu-ray. But
oh, well, then I have to see it.
Yeah, well, I like what they did with the music in it too, because there's a lot of places in it where they combined 2 songs together, and they do it so seamlessly, you know. And of course, Julianne Hough plays one of the 2 lead characters in it. She's the one that shows up at a small town, you know, and wants to get into show business and whatnot, and discovers the ups and the downs and the struggles, and you know, first time you see her, she's on a bus, and there's everybody on the bus is singing Sister Christian, which was pretty funny. And then when she's out walking down the street, this busy street, and all this chaos going on, singing I was going to say Hard by Heart, but no, that comes later. I forget the name of the song she's singing, but she does a great job in that movie, and does some great work with Tom Cruise as well. They do Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi.
Love that song.
Yep. Well, they do a really nice rendition of that. Yep. And of course, Julianne Hough, very, very easy on the eye, especially in that film.
She is. She's a very pretty woman.
Yeah.
And very sweet.
Yeah. And you've done some other, well, actually, before I get to other films, there's other cast members. Now, again, I got to confess, I have not seen the Footloose remake. So I'm going just based on what I have listed here, but I know that you worked in a bar in the movie. And we did not have that film here very, very long, if I remember correctly. But I know that Dennis Quaid and Andy McDowell were in it. And Miles Teller, who, of course, went on to do Whiplash, and Kim Dickens. Now, did you have any interactions with any of them?
I did not. I've seen Dennis Quaid from a distance.
Okay.
But no, I wish I would have loved to have met him. I really would. But I didn't get to, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about Deadland. Now, Deadland was your first film, right?
Deadland was my first film.
Okay. Now, this I have not seen. Until you gave me this list here of other films, I did not know about these, but I went on the computer today and looked these up, and I discovered 2 people that I did know that was in Deadland. I know who William Catt is from, you know, Carrie and House and Greatest American Hero. And
yes.
Did you work with him?
His part was actually filmed in a different, state, and a different day.
Okay.
So I didn't get to meet him. I would have loved to have met him because I loved The Greatest American Hero and his other shows too. that I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately. But I got to work with the director, Damon Osteen. He is a very good man, a very good director. And like I said, I hope to get to work with him again someday, too.
Well, you know what? I was going to say, I've done an interview from this movie and didn't know it until I was doing my research this afternoon. Harrison Page is in this movie, and he was, of course, in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And I had him on here back in January. And he's listed for this movie.
Yes, he's a friend of mine.
Oh, you're still friends with him?
I am.
Okay, tell me about that. How did you become friends with him? Just on the set of that movie?
From the movie, yes. And we just been friends ever since.
Yeah. Did you ever see Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
I have. I've seen that.
Yeah, I've got that whole. That's a great Russ Myers movie, and of course, I remember having him on here, and I had him on here in January, and we talked about him getting involved with the wrong girls and getting beat up by boxers. But it was wonderful talking to him, and I remember Steve Joyner was pretty interested in that interview as well. So, what was his part in this movie? For Deadland.
I totally forgot. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten his part. That's been a while back. I believe he was a soldier.
Yeah, well, he's still soldiering on today.
Yes, that's true. But I think he was. I think he was a soldier. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I cannot remember. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. That was your first film. That was almost 10 years ago. So I can imagine. Yeah, so I can imagine that being a little dated in the memory banks.
It is, and I'm hoping there'll be a sequel.
Yeah, but
that would be great.
Yeah, well, I thought it was interesting because, like I said, Harrison Page, his interview has not aired out here on CHSR yet, but he was somebody that his name I just recognized in the credits, and I thought, wow, there's somebody that we have in common. Now, you also did Forever My Girl. Now, tell me about that.
I was at a concert, and for a day.
Okay.
And the music was great. And I believe it's in post-production. So that's really, I can't say anything else
okay.
About that. So
okay.
It's good.
Okay. So
the director was a very good person. He was good to work with.
And you was also in a something affiliated with TV called Being Mary Jane.
I was.
Okay. Tell us about that.
That was a 2-day shoot, I believe. It was, I had to dress up and wear like a Cinderella gown, and I was hot and tired, but it was always busy, and everybody there was great. Everybody was great. The people on set were very professional. No complaints at all. No complaints. Being Mary Jane is pretty popular on TV.
Actually, I don't watch television. I just have my TV set up to play my Blu-rays, and that's pretty much it. I haven't watched television like standard television. People are telling me I should get Netflix, but I haven't gotten around to that. Yeah.
I got Netflix.
Yeah? Well, my brother has Netflix as well, but I just I've never set my TV up because there's so much reality TV and stuff like that on that just don't interest me, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't me either.
yeah. But a lot of people are advising me to get Netflix. But right now, I just toss something in the Blu-ray player and watch that, and that's just pretty much what I use my TV for. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
know.
do that a lot.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Um, oh man, there's so many. Um, Gran Torino,
Okay, that was a great film. Yep.
it was a really good one.
Clint Eastwood.
Uh,
Yep.
oh yes. Um, let's see, Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
That's an
Yep.
old one, but that was one of my favorites. All
Yep.
time
Well, I
favorites.
I like a lot of old movies. I mean, we mentioned Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. So
Exactly.
Full Metal Jacket
And
is actually celebrating its 30th anniversary this year.
oh my gosh, it's been that long.
It's been that long. Yes. Anything else?
Yeah. A comic Up the Creek.
What is it?
Up the Creek.
Oh, with Tim Madison.
Yes,
Okay.
that was hilarious. I love that movie. That was back in the 80s.
In 1984, yeah. It had a lot of the Animal House
Yeah.
alumni in it. Did you like that guy that was barking all the orders and blew himself up?
It was hilarious. I love comedy. I do. I love to laugh.
Yeah. Okay. And I think the last thing you got listed here is a film called Burden. Now, did you just do that?
Yeah, that was my last one I've done. It was filming, but I think it's in post production.
Okay.
So I really can't say anything.
That's okay. I won't push you to say anything. But you got anything lined up? Like
Maybe.
maybe? Oh, I'm trying to help you
Maybe.
promote some stuff here. It's a good place to get people interested. Who do you want to work with? Is there any actors, actresses, producers, and directors you want to work with?
Oh, I'd love to work with Clint Eastwood. There's also what's his name, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he is hilarious.
Did you like him in Horrible Bosses?
No, that was Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, but Colin Farrell was in Horrible Bosses.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he had that horrible comb over.
Yes, I remember that now. Yeah, and Kevin Spacey too.
Kevin Spacey. I like Kevin Spacey in American Beauty.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
There are several. There's several I'd love to work with.
Do you have any, like, do you have a web page that you want to promote?
I do have a Facebook page. I do.
You got a Facebook page? Facebook page or a web page?
A Facebook page. I
Facebook.
don't have a web page.
Oh, okay. What about charities? You get involved in any charities?
No, not yet.
Actually, it's interesting because somebody that Steve Joyner had sent me to interview, Kim Culpepper. I just got a message from her today that she had accepted a charity challenge that I threw out to her.
I've seen that online. I've seen that. Yes.
She did the Doubtfire Face challenge. Do you know Kim?
On Facebook, I do.
Yeah. Well, she was somebody that was sent to me through Steve Joyner, and I told him sure I would interview her and had her on because after the Ice Bucket Challenge, there was of course the Doubtfire Face challenge after Robin Williams is unfortunately gone, and one of the most talented comedians who ever lived was
Very
Robin.
talented.
Yeah, how wrong was that when we lost him? And how do you know that he was suffering?
Yeah, it was that was just sad. I had no clue whatsoever of of his life except for his work, and he was so good. He was he was a very good actor, very talented.
Yep.
And I think I enjoyed everything he was ever in, like Mork and Mindy, you know, and everything else. And that was just very sad. Very sad.
Very, very sad. And of course, I did the Doubtfire Face challenge, and I sent it out to people I've interviewed, and I've had an actress from Canada do the challenge, and I've had one of the actresses from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, did it. And
really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nancy McLaughlin did it from Friday Part 6. And I've had an author do it, and Kim Culpepper right now is the fourth person that I had do it. I saw her on there, took the pie in the face, and
yeah, I did too.
that was pretty funny. And well, I brought it up to her because she had mentioned some of the stuff she was involved in. She mentioned stuff about depression and whatnot, and I thought I got to bring this up to her, you know, and she was up for it. And I know I got a former Miss USA that's up for it, that's going to be doing it. It's just a matter of me keeping her in the loop about it, because, you know, people get schedules, but I definitely got a lot of other takers on it, especially some of the Friday the 13th alumni as well. That author that did it also had sent the nominations out to them, and since they appeal to young people, perfect. So I was going to say, if you were up for it, would you like to do the challenge?
What challenge is that again?
the Doubtfire Face challenge.
The Doubtfire Face challenge.
That's the one that Kim Culpepper just did.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll tell you what you do. You just it's called Doubtfire Face for suicide and depression, and you take a pie in the face. You nominate 3 people, and if you know anybody from the industry that you think might do it, throw the nomination out to them. You know.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah. In fact,
That's
if you're
a good cause, yes.
Yeah, in fact, if you're affiliated with if you're still affiliated with Harrison Page, you might even be more throw it to him.
I will.
You know,
I'll throw it up to him and see what he says.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Kim Culpepper did that, and like yourself, Kim, I'd not heard of, and it was nice to talk to her and get affiliated with her, and that was a great video she did. I just saw that today when I got to the station. I got the notification, and so yeah, if you're up for doing one of them, and if people want to donate to anything, there's, of course, where you are in Alabama, there's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. If people, you know,
Okay.
Yeah.
American Foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely serious.
Yeah.
Good cause.
That's a good cause.
Very good cause.
Yeah. So, yeah, do one of those videos, and I'll put it on my YouTube page and put that out there. Do you have any causes that are dear to you?
Myasthenia gravis.
What's that?
MDA. Myasthenia gravis, Muscular Dystrophy Foundation.
Okay.
My father has myasthenia gravis.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Important.
Okay, I'll tell you what. You do the Doubtfire Face challenge, and in return, I'll make a donation to that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. What is that? Yeah. What I want you to do. You want me to add you on Facebook?
Yes, please.
Yeah, and give me the details about that, because I've done that with people that have done this challenge. I would donate to one of their causes as well. So, you know, it's kind of a way of showing gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Actually, I got to hit up Kim Culpepper and ask her what her charity of choice is. I never did do that, so something that she's into will get supported. Kind of that way, it spreads the wealth around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good thing to do, and it needs to be done there.
Yeah. So, yeah, do the Doubtfire Challenge and throw 3 nominations out there, and notify me when you get your video up, and I'll get that out there. My brother is the one that puts these on my YouTube page, so he's been a little slow with putting the Doubtfire challenges up there, but I got to keep after him about it. But I do try to get them out. So
I'm sure I wouldn't have a problem with finding somebody who's going to hit me in the face with a pie.
I like your Alabama accent, though. I've never been to Alabama. I've never been outside New Brunswick, but I just know Alabama from what I see on TV. So what's it like in Alabama from your perspective, like living in Alabama?
Actually, everybody is friends or family. You know everyone. Everyone knows you. I live out in the country, and I love the country life. It's great. It really is. I don't have to worry about a lot of traffic, and, but it's great living here. I love this state. The people here are great.
Don't you wish you could walk out and around the community in your Oculus makeup?
They would probably shoot me if I did. It would scare them to death. So a lot of these people around here are, are up in age and don't like horror movies.
Yeah, we got to change that, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
I love horror movies.
I do too. And when I was telling them that I was in Oculus, and they were like, "What is that?" And I was giving them the lowdown on it, and they was like, "Ooh, why would you want to do that?" I said, "You have got to watch it, and you'll see." But I have no clue if they ever did.
Well, here's what I call people out on. They won't watch a horror movie, but they'll watch, say, a Western or an action movie where you've got a lot of faceless people just being shot and blown away. And they don't.
True.
Yeah, I find it very hypocritical.
This is true. Very good. Yes. I got something to come back with now. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you a little story. When Wes Craven was making Last House on the Left, the original Last House on the Left, it was kind of in response to some of the, number one was in response to the Vietnam War, I believe, if I heard that right, don't quote me, but it was also, at the time there was I guess there was a Clint Eastwood Western out, and they said there was like many people shot dead, and it was all just bang, bang, you're dead, and there was no regard for any of the human lives lost. And he said, if somebody's going to be killed and a character be killed, you'd think that, you should be able to, at least care or relate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll give you another little example, too. I had somebody tell me a few years ago that they thought every copy of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo should be burned because of the 2 rape scenes in it. Now, I loved The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and I'm talking about the Rooney Mara version. I loved it. And I was a little taken aback that he was that offended over the 2 rape scenes. Of course, they were brutal, yes, but he made the mistake of having me catch him coming out of the theater from watching The Amazing Spider-Man. And when I saw him come out, he came over to say hello to me, and I just cut him off, and I pointed towards the theater, and I said, "So you're okay with the violence in that?" And I guarantee you, the thing is with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is that you can feel what's going on. I don't think anybody's applauding the 2 rape scenes. I think it's presented as ugly, and that's what it was. But I guarantee you watch The Amazing Spider-Man, and I like The Amazing Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing the film, but I'm saying you don't think about the violence because you're too engaged in it.
Exactly. This is true. This is true.
So when you have people say they don't like horror movies, I would call them out on either Westerns or action movies.
It's different kind of violence.
Yep, very, very, and I guarantee you they don't even think about it. They when I talk about being desensitized. That's a form of it right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, Lisa, it was wonderful talking to you today, and we're missing Steve Joyner in our three-way conversation right
I
now.
know. Where is he?
I thought it was funny because I was sitting in a restaurant parking lot, and I was, that's where I parked, and so I could take that call, and he got talking to me about all this other stuff, and I was like, "Gee, poor Lisa. Lisa's in the background, and we're talking about this and this and this." but Steve's.
I thought it was funny. I was just listening and laughing and trying not to, hear me laughing.
Yeah. But Steve's a great guy, and he knows a lot of people, and I'm sure he'll do whatever he can to help promote whatever it is you're doing. And like I said, you've got any projects coming up in the future, you're more than welcome to come back on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
I've been on your show.
Yeah. Well, I love that Alabama accent.
It's pretty strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming in clearer here, right here. Before I let you go, I was wondering if you would do a plug for my show.
What now?
A plug for my show. This is where you state your name and you say you've been listening to, and my name, of course, is Greg Gilbert, and my show is called Python's Paradise, and I'm in New Brunswick, Canada.
Python's Paradise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go.
My name is Lesa Johnson, and I've had the great pleasure to speak with Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise in Canada.
Absolutely. You know what? You got that spot on. I tell you, there's been people that's been in the business a lot longer than you that's probably taken 2 or 3 tries to get that.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. And I always keep the mistakes in because it allows the the person being interviewed to look human, because we're in such a celebrity-driven society. We forget that they're human. Like I ask you, for example, about Julianne Hough, and I just look at her and I'm just enamored because she's in Rock of Ages, But you saw her right there, face to face. You saw her in the flesh, and you get to see her operate on a normal level, which not everybody sees. Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that. They really don't.
Yeah, and so it's always that's why I when I do editing, I do very little editing on an interview unless I'm asked to take something out. I do very little editing because it allows the interviewee to sound human. And of course, that's what we aim for. Yeah.
So you can't change my accent on editing?
No, why would we want to do that?
I'm just teasing.
You want me to turn you French?
No, thank you.
Good, because I wouldn't understand you.
I wouldn't either.
No, but you know what? It's been wonderful talking to you today, and I look forward to seeing your Doubtfire Face challenge, and
I'm sure you do.
that'll be funny, and like I said, I don't know whether Harrison Page would be up for that, but there's somebody you could throw a nomination at.
I'll find some.
Yeah, I'll leave that creativity up to you, and like I said, if you got any projects up in the future, you're more than welcome to come back on. The invitation is open anytime.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll send you a friend's request, and I want to say special thank you to Steve Joyner for hooking this up and allowing me the pleasure and honor of chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Yes. You have yourself a great day, and for all those folks who hear this, check out Lesa Johnson in Oculus, where she's given a very bad makeover in a bathtub. And, of course, she's serving beer in Footloose. You serving beer to Julianne Hough?
No, I didn't get to serve her beer. Julian.
Well, she has to stay sober.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of us had to be drunk, I guess.
You had to be drunk?
Yeah.
Did you act drunk, or did you just do it method acting?
Just method acting.
Part of the fun and perks of being an actor, huh?
Exactly.
Indulge.
Yeah, make a fool of yourself. It's so much fun, though.
There you go. Well, Lesa Johnson, God bless you, and thank you so much for coming on this show today.
God bless you, and thank you for having me.
No problem. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.